Alright guys, so today we're going to answer the question, what happened to the Escort? You guys may remember my silver Escort. It's been on a couple of our adventures. It's what's always taken us to our location. Never really been a featured star, always just a background character, but a very important background character because those Escorts get some really good gas mileage. And I actually found out that the Splitport 2000 is quite a good engine. Even though it doesn't have the most power for a four-cylinder, it's not bad. So anyway, this right here, this is a piece of what happened to the Escort. I hate alder trees, I really do. Their job is to spring up as fast as possible, and then they don't root in. So you get one good rainy season, and they just come crashing down. So, the story of what happened to this car. That branch is a piece of the log that brought this car to an abrupt end. I was doing this acting thing in Morton, and I like to take 508 because it's kind of a nicer, more scenic drive. It's calmer. I don't have as many road rage incidents and people riding my ass when I'm already doing 10 over the speed limit. So I used to like to take 508, and 508 is kind of a windy highway. There's a lot of steep hills along the side of it, and so I'm coming home one night, and it's a really wet night, really rainy, and I'm only doing about 55, so for once I'm actually doing the speed limit on this highway. And this car coming in the other direction's got their lights blinding me with their brights on, right? So I gave them a flash, and they didn't turn them off, and all of a sudden their lights go all over the place. I thought they were like getting pissed off and flashing the lights off and on, and so I had no idea what was going on. And once the glare of their headlights left my vision, I saw what it was, and I had about 3 seconds to react. So I locked them up, and I couldn't stop. There was a tree in the middle of the road. That branch over there, that was a piece of it. That was a limb off of that tree. That's the only thing that I went back and got. So we go over this branch, and boom! Airbag's right in my face. Airbag pops up over here on the passenger side, blows the freaking windshield out. Yeah, that's nice. That's why I just love airbags. I mean, windshield just destroyed on this thing. And that's just the least of our problems. Frame member was sent back into the car. I was expecting the bumper to be on the ground. I was expecting a lot worse. I get out, I'm pissed. Like, I actually liked this car. I started to fall in love with this car. I've taken it everywhere. We've had it for about a decade. It really got me into driving manuals. Like, it helped me learn getting really smooth with my manual shifting and such. Like, I just love this car, even though it's nothing super special. But I love this car. You know, I grew up with it. So, car's screwed up. I get out. I'm cursing every word under the sun. The freaking guy that just went over the log, he's like, screw this shit. And he just drives away. So I scared him off. I got this DOT guy behind me. He doesn't even realize my car's screwed up. And I walk up to this old guy, and he gives me this look like, and I'm like, dude, my car is totally shot. I've got radiator fluid leaking all over the road. Like, I ain't going to be able to make it home. So he puts a call in. It's the weirdest call ever. This guy just does not care that my car is all screwed up. So I sit there for about 10 minutes, and I'm like, screw this shit, right? Car's cooled down a little bit. I turn it over. It starts up. So I drive away. I get about a mile down the road, and she seizes up. And that's it. That's it. That's all she's got, right? So I coasted over to the side of the road, the best place I can park it. I go to see if the engine will turn over. It does turn. So I knew I hadn't seized the engine itself. But I wasn't gonna try any harder on this car. Like, I wasn't gonna push it any harder. So I get out and I decide to walk. And I'm walking 50 miles. That's the journey. In the middle of the night, soaking wet. I felt like just such a loser, man. Like, I felt so stupid. And I get about a quarter mile from the car and I see headlights on the horizon. And it's a cop. A Morton cop. He says to me, you know, I never go this way. He stops to pick me up. He's like, I never go this way. I just had a feeling tonight. So, you know, be that God or luck or whatever, this guy picks me up. He lets me sit in the front with him. And I tell him all about what happened. And it turns out he's the husband of one of the sound directors for the play that I was acting in. Crazy. Just small world. So I get home. Next morning we go and we pick this baby up. And we drop it off at our old house over there on Market. And I go and start it, and it's just not running good. Like, but it does run. I add some water into it, and column of smoke. Just tons of smoke pluming out. So now I know that I blew the head gasket. So then we brought it out here and we let it sit for several months. And I'd start it every once in a while and charge the battery, but I never really did anything. Wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the money because honestly, it's a Ford Escort. It's a 1997 Escort. It doesn't have too many miles on it, about 190,000. For an Escort, if you really treat them good, they can make 500,000 miles. I've heard some cases of them. They can at least make 300. So, but it's pretty much 2/3 through its regular life, and with how hard we've driven it, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to fix it. I'm kind of attached to it, but I could get another one for the same price. So finally I get on eBay and I look, and a new radiator is about $100. So I'm like, fine, screw it. I'll buy a new radiator. It might be a Chinese one, but it looks exactly the same. So I put the radiator into it, added some water. It wasn't happy. So drained the water. I went ahead and put Blue Devil in it and just put some water into there again. Actually, I think I did buy the regular radiator coolant. Yeah, I put 50/50 in this thing. That's right, because I didn't want it to become a rusty piece of crap. It's already got one strike against it. So I bought the 50/50 because it wasn't too expensive, and I Blue Deviled it, and by God, it actually works. Like, let me show you this. Here, we'll start her up for you guys. She's a runner, and go ahead and do that real quick. So it does run. And I mean, there is a little bit of water in that. You can tell that it's not quite normal. Some of that is oxygenated fuel, because there is a little bit of water in the gas too. But yeah, it's not smoking too bad, and I've checked the oil. It doesn't make any chocolate milk or anything so far. So, I mean, it's kind of a promising sign. We also managed to straighten out the front of the vehicle. We went ahead and used bottle jacks and got the frame members straight. We got the crumple zones re-sent out. And it does go down the road pretty straight. Like, I can't actually believe that I didn't do more serious damage to this thing. I mean, yeah, the blown head gasket is kind of a turnoff, but it's running. So yeah, I think I'm gonna actually slowly rebuild this car, just because we've had it for so long, and I've been looking at parts are cheap, and even if the engine goes, you can get another engine for these right now for like $350, $400. Sometimes they're up to $800, but still, that's not that much considering that the class of car is used beater, right? For $800, can you get a car like this? Maybe. But then you don't know what else is wrong with it. This is still going down the road straight. The brakes are fairly nice. Yeah, I got to get a new windshield for it. I got to get Safe Light out here, which is the first thing we're going to do. So yeah, I don't know. I think this is a noble project since this thing's been such a good little car. I also got to fix the gas gauge. It seems to want to stay at half tank no matter how much gas is in it now. That's from sitting for too long. So I'll probably drop the gas tank, and I think we're just going to slowly get this thing going.